Good morning. So I wanted to... Let me wait till everyone gets on here for a second. Let me take my medicine real quick, actually. I have both of my fibers and my daily vitamin. I'm on an antibiotic, so the antibiotic says that I can't take stuff like this until 2 hours, like, separate from, like, magnesium and, like, things like that, like certain vitamins. And that has all that in my daily vitamin, so I had to wait 2 hours. But I was coming live to see what you guys think about, if anyone would be interested in some Halloween cups, if I made a couple. Like, you guys know how I did like the horror cups, whatever. Maybe if I did that this evening, if you guys would be interested. We got the fair tomorrow and it's $2 at night. So I was thinking of taking the kids, and I was like, you know, maybe I could work tonight and we can get some sales and I'll just use that towards that. So I'm trying to save and get caught up on, like, I don't know, I'm just trying to save and, like, pay extra debt and stuff. That's what I've been working on. And I'm like, you know what, well, I haven't done my crafting in a minute, so I'm like, well, maybe we can, I don't know, go do some fun stuff and I'll maybe make some stuff. So I was thinking maybe doing those, because Spirit Halloween's already open too here. Is it open where you guys are at? Good morning, Monica, Raider, Kelly. It's already, like, all of that stuff is already out. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, maybe I can. And I still have so much in stock from last year. Y'all remember how much shit I had last year? Oh my gosh. I have so much supplies. So much. So I was like, maybe I can make some. So I don't know. If anybody's interested in any Halloween cups, let me know. I don't have a whole lot of supplies left, but I know I have some to at least maybe do a couple or a few. Maybe I can get a few orders. So yeah, maybe I'm sure I don't miss the turn. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I know I still have like I have like fall ones, I have horror ones, I have Halloween ones of like ghosts and pumpkins and bats, and I have a lot. I think I still have killer ones too of like, I don't know if I have any more Michael Myers and stuff, but I know I had a few. Maybe I might have a few Ghostface. But I know a lot of those, they sold like crazy last year. I think that's what I sold the most of. Like, that was my top hit, was probably the horror ones. Dang, how can you whip it like that in that big ass semi truck? Yeah, he just whipped it around that curve. Woo! So Saya did better today. Well, we ended up getting there early, right? So we could go in the gym, and I was like, hopefully he'll sit with his, you know, like his first graders, and then they sit there and then they end up lining up to get breakfast. But it was just overstimulating for him. The gym is way too loud and too many kids, and they're all sitting and talking and playing around, and I don't know, I think it's just too much for him, and he didn't want to go sit down with them at all. So we stood there by the door, and I was like, and he didn't want to go on his own and with all the first graders and get the lunch, the breakfast. So he wanted to wait till everyone was out of there. So I didn't want to overdo it with him, because then that's when he freaks out. Like if I tell him no, you're going to, or I kind of push him, that's when he'll kind of freak out. So I just kind of talked him through it a little bit, and he was like, I'd rather like, and we did this last year. We waited till like the kids already like were out of there, and then I would take him to every morning. I can't wait till I can drop him off and he can walk in there on his own. But we're gonna work on that this year. I would walk him in there, get his breakfast, then walk him to his class instead of him going with all the crowd of kids, because it's a shit ton of kids and they all just be piled up in the hallway, all walking, all going, like it's just like a bunch. They all just say, okay, first graders, and they all pile up, and and then second graders, and then third graders, and so I think it's too much for him. So we just waited, and then I walked him to his class. He was still, on time and everything like that, because we got there really early. And then he did really good. His teacher had him do they do this little password to get in the door, which is like letters on the door, and he has to say each letter, what each letter is and what sound it makes to get through the door. So it's kind of cute. So I think he was nervous at first, and he was like, I don't want to, and he was hugging me, and then she came and she was like, wait, you got another password, what is this and what is that? And he started, it like distracted him, I think, and it got him focused on that, and he was good. And then he didn't even say bye to me. She was like, okay, now go sit down so you can get your breakfast, and and he walked in there, and I was like, okay, hell yeah. So I talked to her for a second, and so yeah, and then I left. So he did good. He walked in his class on his own. So but we had a little bit of a roughness getting him to go, I had to sit there. That was a good 20 minutes to get the gym to clear out to get his breakfast, because it was just too much for him. And I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to over push him and then him have a freak out like he did yesterday, so I'm glad I kind of just went with it. I was like, it'll one day at a time, one little thing at a time, we're starting. And at least he walked into his actual classroom on time by himself, you know what I mean? Versus yesterday, I didn't even get to take him to his classroom. He had to end up staying with the principal and well, I don't think he's the principal. I think he's the assistant principal. I don't know. And the counselor, and he was there. I think he was with them for like 2 hours before they got into his class. Yeah, he has really bad, he just gets overstimulated. It's too much. He kept saying it's too loud in here, and he wanted to not even stand at the door. It was too loud for him. He wanted to go and be outside of the door, and I was like, no, baby, it's okay. Do I have any extra large hoodies? I don't think so. I don't think I have hoodies, but I think I have a few crew neck sweatshirts, which are really cute. But I can look, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, it does take a lot of patience. It's really hard. And, I wish I could just pull up in my car and he get out the car and go up in there like all, in the line, just like all the other parents do. I don't really see parents. There's a few that walk their kids in there, but they're usually like really little kids. But not, not really. So one day I'll be able to just pull up and he gets out, just like he comes out and gets in the car after school. But he's just got to get that, I don't know, that, what would it be? Just that brave, he's got to get that braveness going. He gets too nervous. He gets way too nervous. So, yeah, he is sensitive to a lot of noise, yeah. Yeah, they always let me walk him. Everybody already knows Saya and how he is, so there's never been an issue of me taking him or him even coming a little bit after everything's kind of settled down. It's always worked for him. So that's kind of how we were all year last year. I did it all the way till the end of the year, every day. They understood, there were some days too where he would have a hard time getting into the school, so sometimes they would have to come outside and help me get him out of the car, to convince him, it's okay, we're gonna have a better day today, and sometimes I feel like he got kind of used to that, to where he kind of leans on it now. So I'm trying to really push him and like be firm with certain stuff, because I'm like, no, like there's some things I think are ridiculous, and then you're being a little too spoiled brat. Do you know what I mean? So I've been trying to be more firm with some stuff. I'm just like, no, we can't do this. We gotta have like a normal, normal life like everybody else. Have you got him evaluated? Yes, he's not autistic. No, he's had testing and all that stuff. He has ADHD and ODD and stuff like that, and it's just, he gets, what it is he gets overstimulated. So loud noise overstimulates him. That's his problem. Loud noise and things like that overstimulate him really bad. No, Saya got tested a long time ago for all that stuff. No, he's not autistic. No, loud noise and stuff overstimulates him. And it's not even just like loud noise, because he can have like music on and he can, stuff like that. It's really when there's too much of a different noises all at one time. So going into the gym, you got all the different kids yelling and being loud, and like, you know what I mean? And it's just, and they're moving around, and there's a bunch of people, and it's so overstimulating for him. But he did better today, so at least going into class on his own, so that makes me happy. So we'll see tomorrow. I think we won't go as early, because I see like how much it affects him. It's just too much for him. And we went really early today, because I wanted to make sure that, like, okay, if we have a situation, we got enough time to where we can like gather ourselves together. You know what I mean? So I went super early. So I think tomorrow I'm not going to go as early, and we'll just go right whenever, the kids are already going to their class with breakfast, so he can be, at the end when the gym's mostly cleared out, he'll grab his and I'll walk him to his class, and he'll be all right. So I think that's what's going to work for us. And if that works, at least for now, until he adjusts, gets a little more brave. I think, he's getting older. We'll go from there. So just so it's not so stressful for me, and it's not so stressful for him either, because if he has a stressful start of his day, it kind of takes effect of his entire day, and that's something that I've learned. And so we just try to have more. That's why I've been getting him up earlier in the morning too, because so he can ease and not be so stressed out and overwhelmed, and then it just kind of, his mood's done for the whole day, and he just has a hard time. So he, this morning he did really good. He got up, he got ready, he did his hair, and he didn't throw whiny fits like he did yesterday. Yesterday he did it, but he kind of whined a little bit and complained through it, like he didn't really want to. I had to kind of keep pushing him, but today he didn't at all. He did really good, and I was really proud of him. He got out the car. Yesterday I couldn't get him out of the car. He kept wanting to bring his whole blanket, and I was like, no. Now my life makes sense. Yeah, I have my testing too, to see about having ADHD myself. At the end of this month, sometime, I forgot. I think it's sometime. I think it might even be next week. I gotta go out of town. But yeah, a lot of things. Once I started learning things about Saya, it made a lot of sense to me, and I've had to learn to cope and make changes, and what works for us and what doesn't. And once you notice those things and you start using them and making like a little bit of a difference, like you'll notice a huge difference, like, than how I was before I knew what his diagnosis was. I didn't know how to go about things, and I would just really push him or get frustrated, or oh my god, I couldn't even do shit, like, oh, it was so bad. But now I've learned so much stuff, and he's had so much help too. We've put in a lot of work that life's just so much easier than what I can think of the year before last year. And last year was still a little bit rough for us, but the year before last year and stuff, oh my god, it was so bad. If I could go back like 2 years ago, Lord Jesus. Last year we barely started getting all right, and this year's even better. so grateful that like everyone in the school knows him. Even after I dropped him off and I was leaving, one of the teachers, I think she's the music teacher, I believe she is, I don't know what she is, I think she is, but she stopped me and she was like, I know Messiah yesterday was, already doing the whole tummy hurts, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and I had to reassure him that, no, you're okay, just drink some water. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was fine. I was like, yeah, sometimes he just needs, I don't know, some reassurance that he's all right. I think like a comfort in a way, and then he's good. And then he knows he's good, And he has a lot of people on his team. Like, he's got so many people in the school that really work with him and understand him and are patient with him, that help him. They already like know how he is and his ways too, and they know how to go about it. And I really like that, and it helps Messiah so much. Like I said, at the beginning it was so hard, but towards the end, once everyone we all kind of figured it out together, it was a lot easier. And I think this year is going to be a lot easier too. Good morning, Amy. No, Messiah's been tested for all that stuff, y'all. He had hella tests for like a year. I don't remember the whole process I went through with him. Lord Jesus. Yeah, Saya just gets overstimulated. And then once he got on medicine too, at the beginning of last year, he wasn't on any medication because this was before his diagnosis, but once he got on medicines, well, when we first started medicines, it kind of made it worse. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, he was just all over the place. He was whiny and, oh my gosh, it was just, but, I fought it through, and I want to say it took like a month and a half of him being consistent on his medicines, that just out of nowhere, I just started noticing a really big difference of him being quiet in the car, being calm, doing his own thing, and not trying to overbug people, like, because he would like really just push people, like, to the point of it wouldn't make sense, like whether he just wanted attention or he would just go and like turn the Xbox off in the middle of the boys' game just to start a ruckus, like, and he stopped doing all those things. He couldn't sit still. Sometimes he still can't sit still, but it's a lot better than what it was. He couldn't just watch a movie. He couldn't just, focus on doing his room. It would just be too much for him and overstimulating, and to have to do this and do that and do certain tasks. And now it's not like that. Now he can, and I can tell him, and he's like, okay. Like, he enjoys it. You know what I mean? Like, he's able to focus on things, and I really, I know that's helped him a lot. That helped him so much, like, for real. Yeah, so anybody who's considered, trying medication, you may freak out at the beginning and be like, oh no. And then there was times where he would sleep too. He would fall asleep a lot, and I was like, man, I hate seeing him like this, but I had to push through it because I wanted the best for him. And I had a lot of talks with many doctors, and they're like, a lot of parents give up on it because they don't want to see that their child medicated, or it gets worse before it gets better, or sometimes it takes longer because you need to find the right medicine. Luckily, the first medicine was good for Messiah, you know what I mean? But sometimes you got to switch multiple times, and they don't give it the time. You got to go through the hard times before it gets easier. And they said a lot of parents fail their children because they don't start it at a young age, and then once they're older, they have a lot of problems, or they have a really hard time struggling in life just to focus and get by. You know what I mean? Like, now that I think about it, I look back on, like, if I think, I'm pretty sure I have it. And now that I look back on my childhood, I struggled so much. And even in my adulthood, even today, I still struggle so much. And I always think, like, dang, like, if I would have got it under control years ago, I probably wouldn't have had such a hard time. You know what I mean? Even now, as an adult, like, I have such a hard time sometimes. And so I had to really think about those things, as a parent, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So I was like, I need to get through this to help him while he's young, to get it under control, You know what I mean? So he doesn't struggle in life growing up, and he doesn't have a hard time, you know, because it can also, you know, cause issues with like being able to connect with people, or being able to socialize, or, you know, friendships and things like that. You know, it causes, you would be surprised at how many problems it can, and how many things it can affect in their life, you know. Yes, you can. Everyone, y'all can report her comments. I would just do that. It was pretty good. No, there's no age limit. No. I started noticing with Saya probably once he was about like 3 years old. Is I think when I started having issues with Saya and started noticing some changes in him. You know what I mean, with certain stuff. Probably about 3 is when I noticed. But anyways, that's why I came on live, not to talk about that stuff, but we got into that topic, so maybe it can help some other mamas who are going through it. You know, you're not alone. You know, I have a child who, you know, we struggle with some things. You know, Saya's not like everybody else. He's different, and that's okay. And we, you know, we get through it. And but no, I was coming live to see if anybody was interested in Halloween cups, if I was to do some today. So I think later when I get back home, I might try to do some Halloween cups to see how much supplies I got, and see if I can even make a couple of Halloween cups. So yeah, I have some fall ones too. Maybe I'll just go live and I'll let you guys like see if anyone wants to pick their own wrap. I need to see what type of glitters I got, what I can put together, all that fun stuff. Yes, I would report those ones, because if she's saying cuss words at that, she'll get where she can't comment on people's stuff no more. So instead of just blocking and deleting, I'd rather her get, you know, her page in trouble, because that's not acceptable. Which means if she, you know, gets it lifted and then after a certain amount of days, 30 days, it does it again, it'll just be worse each time. So people need to learn, you know, that's just not how you talk to people. And if you're bothered by someone, no one told you to come and watch me. No one said you need to sit here and watch my live the whole time, listen to what I'm saying. You know, you can have your opinion, that's fine. We all have opinions, and that's all it is. It's just an opinion. It's not a fact, it's an opinion. And you know, but no one's forcing you to be here. And if you're sitting here putting yourself through stress to the point of you getting heated and pissed off at somebody, having to take the time to, you know, text ugly things because your brain, you know, is bothered. I mean, why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you want to get all heated over a stranger that you don't even know? You don't even know me. You know, that's just a little weird. It's like, you're affecting yourself. Why would you want to put yourself in that position? I wouldn't want to get myself all rowdied up over someone I don't even know and mess up my mood. You know what I mean? That's not how I want to start my day, girl. It's early in the morning. Why would you want to start your day that way? You know? Like, that's weird. Like, no one's making you watch me. No one's making you listen to me. No one's making you be here. No one's making you can block my page. You know? Like, don't allow something that you don't like feel, you know, you're forcing yourself and you're just getting yourself all rowdied up. I would not want to start my day that way. It's too early. Go get a coffee, girl. Take a breather. Breathe in, breathe out, and then you can hit the 3 dots up here or somewhere over here, and you can just block my page, and that's it. You can have your opinion on me. You don't have to like me. That's fine. You know, I could care less whether you did or didn't, but just breathe in. Come on, and breathe out. Okay. Go take a shower, brush your teeth. some soap in your mouth. That dirty mouth. Yeah, I hope she has a blessed day too, because I don't know, maybe she woke up on the wrong side of bed. Maybe she didn't get no sleep last night. I don't know. Maybe she's got a headache right now and she's agitated. Maybe she's overstimulated. Maybe she has ADHD. Maybe she has ADHD and she's overstimulated. You never know. She could, you know, I don't know. Maybe she didn't take her medicine. I don't know. But I hope that she gathers herself together, because it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's not worth your own peace. Somebody else, my life, is not worth messing up your peace, girlfriend. So just calm down, okay? Take a breather. Let's start over. Let's start over. Brush your tongue. Okay, I'm gonna get off here though, guys. I got stuff to do, but yeah, I may go live, and I'm ratchet today. I just I have a lot to do today, and I'm like, I can't be dressing all cute and shit. I need to have comfy clothes. So I'm gonna pick up my shit and then go back to the house and make some Halloween cups probably. So I love you guys, and yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.